Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a Christmas card to share with you using this So Much Fun digital stamp set from Streamside Studio. It's an adorable set filled with several critters, snowmen, Judy. There are tons of elements in the set. You get a lot for what Sean is asking. And I really love how cute these snowmen are. And this dog is just adorable, so I put it in front of my snowman before printing it. Me personally, since I really love clean and simple cards, I don't need any fancy programs to get my images how I want them to be. I just use Microsoft Word, but you can use similar programs to that one. If you want to do tons of incredible stuff, as you can with digital stamps, maybe you need another program, but for things like I do, Word or anything like that, it's just perfect. So I printed these images on Transotype perfect coloring paper, and I'm coloring it in using my Copics. Now, if you like one of the combinations, there aren't a ton, there is tons of colors returning, but if you like any of them, you can always find the color combinations on my blog post. It's really easy as a reference if you want later on to color a snowman and you think of this card particularly, then you can find it on my blog post and look these specific colors up. So that's handy. Also, I am going to link in the description box towards the link of this specific digital stamp set, as well as the Streamside Studio site, the Etsy shop, because this is also a guest designer project. I was part of the design team a while back. I really had tons of fun, but because of other commitments and then my day job and other stuff going on in my life, I had to quit the design team, unfortunately. So I was really excited when Sean asked me if I was up for a guest design project, and so I asked for this particular digital stamp because I really love it and I had tons of fun creating this card. I had so much fun that I even made another card, and I'm hoping to share it in July also with this particular digital stamp, so more inspiration will follow. Yeah, it was really fun. And I must admit, when I made this card, it was the first card that I made after a few months not crafting, except for my design team projects from Rochelle and Miller. And it really did me good. So I was really grateful for Sean to ask me to create something and to get me back at my crafty desk to create this card. I'm still taking it slow, building up what I'm creating, because there have just been some stuff happening in my life, and it was really hard and I had to recover from it, and maybe I will once open up to you about it, because I truly appreciate you all being here, and I really find that the crafty community is a great community, really sweet and such, but for now I'm not ready yet to talk about it, but I'm still recovering and just taking my time. I'm happy to be sharing this one. It does me good to share and to have all of these lovely comments and sweet reactions from all of you here on Instagram. It really does me good. So thank you again, Sean, for giving me this opportunity to guest for you again, and to just have fun with this amazing digital stamp. I'm almost done actually with the coloring. I'm just going to color the mug. For now, I colored it in just yellow, but later on I will create like a cocoa kind of vibe in the cup, so you know. And I ended up adding some dots on the scarf as some details. Whenever I do this particular part before finishing all the coloring, you can be sure that I was not ready yet to commit to a certain color for the mug. Sometimes it's really easy for me, like with the clean and simple cards, just say, well, I'm using the same colors all over. For the reds here, I did that, and there wasn't a struggle, because you know, when you reuse colors, the things match and go really well together. But once you have to figure out another color, you might sometimes, like I do, get a bit flustered with the idea of committing to a specific color. Now you can add truly any color you like to this mug. I went for yellow. It's always bright, it's always fun. The only thing that was bothering me while coloring this mug is that one of my markers is completely ruined, and it's one that I'm using in this combination, and it just ruined the whole coloring of the mug a bit, and then I just kept going, but really is this one, and I love the yellow 15, but my nib is broken. It's just, yeah. So you might see it here in the video. I don't know it's that clear, but it's actually ruining the whole coloring and the blend between the other markers. So therefore I'm a bit upset about my yellow 15. I also am busy with creating like color blending charts. You might have seen a few videos already, and I really want to share some yellow combinations, but this yellow 15 is really important for tons of my combinations. I had this marker like from the beginning, so I really need that one before I can do that combination for you, but it's coming, promise. So here I just printed this image again on just some cheap printer paper, and I'm using some repositionable adhesive here to create a mask with this paper, pressing it down really well, and then I will do some ink blending. But first I will be die cutting this panel, because I am going to use the Blueprints 27 from My Favorite Things to die cut a lovely frame, kind of. No, it's not really a frame, but it's going to be a panel with then stitching details, and I love to keep my stitching details white, so I first had to die cut it, and then I could do the ink blending. Now I'm also going to immediately position the sentiment. The sentiment will be hugs. You can make it winter hugs, Christmas hugs, warm hugs, anything can. I was just a bit too lazy to add a secondary part to this word. So I went for hugs. I'm using the essential alphabet from My Favorite Things, and I'm aligning it as straight as possible, everything all together, and then I will run it through my die cutting machine once to have this, and then later on we will create like a little shaker card behind the sentiment. Okay, so first I'm aligning my big die here to make sure that my snowman is kind of centered, and then I am using this ruler to help me align the hugs. Now, something that you need to keep in mind whenever using a ruler to align your dies is that when you snip them, it can be that there is like this little roughness at a certain point where there were like the in-between alignments of the letters. So therefore it took me a bit of time. The G was also a bit scary because you don't know if it's really straight because you cannot see it completely. So I based myself on those dots that are in the center where you can normally poke out the letters that might get stuck in your dies to see whether it is going to be straight or not. I'm really sorry for the hair, but like I have tons of like baby hairs, and I must be grateful because baby hairs are a good sign that there's hair coming. Yeah, but it's kind of annoying whenever I'm crafting and creating a video because they are just going to be in the way. I recently went to the, hairdresser. I went there. Normally I donate my hair for like the wigs kind of thing, the Think Pink foundation. So I never cut my hair. It's getting really long, and then I cut it. I send it towards them, and then hopefully they can help someone with the hair that I'm sending. But this year, you might know it or not, but this year I'm getting married in church, as well as I'm giving like the big party at the end for family friends. And so my husband really loves long hair, and I really get quite quickly annoyed with all the effort that I need to put into washing it and such. So therefore, I decided, well, it was already getting really long and it was actually perfect to donate it, which is unfortunate because I couldn't do that, because that would mean that it was too short for him. And well, I also want him to be happy, and we are going to take pictures, so it will haunt me for the rest of my life if he found it too short. So I went to the hairdresser and just asked to make sure that everything was healthy, to snip off everything. She cut off 17 centimeters. And it's still too long in my opinion, but the husband is really happy. So until August, I will not be able to cut it shorter, but I hope afterwards, yes. Um, and I actually have no clue how I came to this specific subject, but yeah, that was my life. So I went there, it was already years ago, because last time to donate my hair, my friend came. It was during COVID, I think, in the beginning, so with mask on and everything. She's not a hairdresser. She was really scared to cut it crooked, but she did really great. I was really happy with it, but she didn't want to do it again, unfortunately. So here I did the ink blending, distress inks, because I prefer distress inks over distress oxides. I went for this really bright but still fresh and a bit cold color. I love Greg Pistachio, it's my favorite. And then I also added some splatters, also some white gouache splatters. I just did like a fade out into the white, and then you can kind of imagine the snowman standing on snow, so the white underneath is completely logical. Now to make the shaker part stand out, I decided to do another ink blending piece to put behind the hugs, so that hugs would really jump out of that white area that we still have on the bottom of the card. I'm not going to splatter there or do white gouache because there will be tons of shaker material in it. The letters are already kind of fine, so it wouldn't stand out enough to do all of those things for me. So I'm just making sure that I like the gradient, but in the end it doesn't really stand out as much as I thought it would, the gradient. So even there, just decide for you, check it, just hold your panel above it and you can see whether it's okay or not. Next, I took a piece of acetate. I'm just using some liquid glue and I'm going to put the acetate behind the hugs sentiment. I'm just dabbing with my fingers so that the glue is not going to ooze from underneath the letters. And then we can build up our shaker. Now the thing that is most important when making a shaker is that the window is completely closed. Otherwise your shaker materials can kind of get through and it will be lost and the shaker will be ruined. So just make sure that there aren't any gaps, or whenever there are gaps, make sure that your shaker material is bigger than the gap that you might have. So I'm just making sure that I'm covering everything, also trying to add some foam tape in the empty areas to just have a bit of a buffer when mailing this, that it won't get ruined. I'm not doing two heights for the shaker because it's a really fine shaker material that I'm using today, so it's not really needed. But make sure that if you're using something bulky as shaker material, that you have like the space for it to move. Here also I don't have tons of room to shake because I really want my shaker material to show up. So I don't want it to be empty in any way. So I'm just filling it up, kind of well, there is no logic in how much I add in it. Sometimes I'm happy with it, sometimes I think there isn't enough in it, but it's too late. It's a struggle. I don't make tons of shakers. But once the shaker material was in it, I could just add the backing on top. And now I'm going to create my card base here. And then we will add everything together on top. Just some liquid glue on that piece of paper that I added in the back, and then I'm going to center it, and then this card will be, well, almost finished. I will still do that mug, but you could stop right here if you wanted to. You can add more, you can add those shaker embellishments around the snowman, that would be great as well, but I really love the simplicity and just the shakers in the hugs area. Here I'm just adding a bit of mocha, kind of coffee kind of coloring in it, and because of the yellow 15, even the brown wouldn't really blend well, but I'm going to cover that up. I wanted to add a bit of like cream or milk look in it, so I just used my white jelly roll pen and just scribbled a tiny bit here and there. And I don't think that you see that the brown wasn't really blending that well, so I think it's really a success. So this actually is my card for today. I'm really sorry that this video took a bit longer, but I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you like this, that it can inspire you in any way. The link towards this great digital stamp will be in the description box, as well as a supply list. I hope that can help you. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate you all being here. It's really wonderful. Thank you so much, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!